for the many of you who have told me that there is opportunity in the fabric space, because a lot of fabric that is currently being used in our EPZ comes from imports from other countries. We have an opportunity as a country, and we are seizing that opportunity to produce cotton locally. Secondly, many companies have asked us also about the cost of power. And we are working on how to make sure that the cost of power is investor-friendly, is manufacturing-friendly. And the first step we have agreed with industry is that those who will produce at night because we have excess power at night, we are going to reduce the tariff by 50%. Initially, it used to be a requirement that for you to benefit from that 50% tariff at night, you must produce at full capacity during the day. We have since, from the 1st of this May, that requirement will not be necessary. So you can produce at any time that you wish and take advantage of reduced power tariff to manufacture much more competitively. Owing to our advantageous geographical situation and extensive infrastructure, we are the gateway into the Eastern and Central Africa region, as well as the continent, making Nairobi the ideal headquarters of many dominant global public and private sector organizations intending to establish a broader continental footprint and presence. Our youthful population is well educated, tech-savvy, and highly skilled, and our people are renowned for their motivation, drive, innovation, and entrepreneurship. You will find, my brother, Nexgen CEO, that the young people that I saw in your workshop and in your enterprise are a cut above many. They are trained appropriately. Whatever skill that you will want, you will not need to import any skill. We have all the skills available here. We spend $5 billion every year in our education sector to train from primary school to secondary school, to our TVETs, to our universities, and we are very proud of our human capital, and we want you to sample the best, not just for your company in Kenya, but maybe for your companies elsewhere. It is noteworthy that the textile and apparel sector, Nexgen Packaging EPZ's chosen area of investment, is now the dominant component of our EPZs, which presently hosts 39 apparel companies with a total capital investment of 25 billion Kenya shillings. Further, in the ranks of Kenyan exporters of various finished products to the United States, textile and apparel sector companies in our EPZs make up 29 out of 51 companies, employing nearly 60,000 people. Not only has Nexgen Packaging EPZ entered a market with demonstrable present and potential returns, it has done so by taking advantage of the highly impressive, investor-friendly package of fiscal, infrastructural, and regulatory incentives to enter a highly promising economic sector. It is important to note that Kenya is a highly dynamic economy characterized by strong, diversified, and well-developed institutions in both public and private sector. It is also a global and Pan-African hub for banking, insurance, and services sectors, as well as a rising fintech and digital technology innovation hub. Kenya's infrastructure is fairly well developed with a seamless network at the port and harbor, air, road, and rail transport system covering the entire country. Our information and communication technology infrastructure is also highly developed and complemented by high mobile penetration and internet broadband connectivity. We are extending broadband connectivity to 100,000 institutions across Kenya. That will enhance connectivity. It will bring more people into the ecosystem, enhance commerce, and expand opportunities for Kenyans, both locally and globally. Our country is also endowed with an abundant renewable energy potential, which makes 93% of our national grid green, with geothermal power constituting the greater portion of it. I know many apparel manufacturers in our ecosystem around EPZ have told us that they would value if they could get additional supply of local fabric in their EPZ manufacturing capabilities. Let me announce to you that in 2023, we had 8,000 acres under cotton production. We increased that last year to 44,000 acres. This year, we are taking it to 104,000 acres, maybe 120 if we get the next supply of our cotton seed. And next year, we intend to have 200,000 acres under production. And all this cotton, we will make it available to our EPZ zones as fabric after we agree on how the value chain is going to work. The EPZ program has also made substantial progress in expanding the country's portfolio of productive capital investment, thus laying a strong foundation for job creation, technology and skills transfer, as well as diversification and value addition of exports, together with the creation of backward linkages within the domestic economy. Consequently, we rely on the EPZ ecosystem to play a key role in the realization of a broad array of major objectives in relation to our vision for radical transformation. As already stated, 29 apparel companies operating in our EPZ are exporting to the US and employ nearly 60,000 people. They have enabled Kenya export over $7 billion worth of garments to the US duty-free, of which $545 million was exported in 2022. Consequently, Kenya is now the biggest garment exporter to the US in Africa, and our Africa Growth and Opportunities Act apparel strategy has stimulated a 12-fold increase in value of our exports in the last 2 decades. This is not the entire story. Our EPZ ecosystem has expanded to 101 gazetted zones in 22 counties, which accounts for Kenya shillings 149 billion in cumulative investment and directly employs over 75,000 people from Mombasa all the way to Malaba. Of this, the textile and apparel sector constitutes over 100 companies, which employ over 66,000 people directly and between 150,000 and 200,000 people indirectly. Under Better and AGOA, we can look ahead with confidence and expect rapid growth in our apparel industry. I am delighted to announce that the United States, through USAID, is partnering with Kenya to create jobs, increase trade, and strengthen our entire textile and apparel sector, and we are truly grateful to USAID. With additional support from Prosper Africa, and I'm very delighted that the team leader of Prosper Africa is in our midst, USAID has therefore invested another $11 million in grants in the following areas. First, the investment is aimed at expanding the promising Kenyan fashion brands like Vivo, and I saw them here, Equator and Ubuntu. Secondly, the investment is extended to grow Kenya's apparel manufacturing base in conjunction with companies like Hela, Mars, Best, Atraco, Royal, Simba, UAL, and Mega. And all of them I saw them exhibiting here. Finally, the investment is aimed at bringing a new vertical capability to Kenya's textile and apparel subsector with the entry of companies like Koniho and Nexgen into the manufacturing of elastics and labeling. As was said earlier, it will make our turnaround in production much more efficient, faster, and cost-effective. These companies have committed to match this investment with their own investments, amounting to 77 million in total, or Kenya shillings 10 billion in the short term. This combined effort will be expected to generate an additional $330 million in apparel exports and create another 20,000 jobs by the end of next year. This partnership embodies the future of Kenya, a future built on solid investment with skilled labor, efficient technology, quality manufacturing, and strong linkages with global markets. I am particularly encouraged to note that the potential of investment and partnership in this subsector has greatly increased formal sector employment opportunities for women and youth, with the sector poised to create up to 1 million jobs over the next decade. This inclusive impact will be transformative. The next important agenda to achieve the full potential of this subsector is to develop vertical integration from fabric to apparel through improvement along the value chain aimed at reducing production costs, enhancing quality control, and creating economies of scale. Fabric production is therefore going to be critical in giving apparels made in Kenya a competitive advantage. This means that there is increased opportunity for the visionary investor to take advantage of this opportunity, as well as our favorable overall investment environment to construct a fabric mill in one of our counties. Such an investment would be particularly opportune given that 40,000 farmers are already farming cotton and producing between 20,000 and 40,000 bales annually. I am announcing an investment opportunity, so those people who have ears, they better listen. This has the potential to increase not just the number of farmers, but acreage under production to achieve at least 260,000 bales annually. And you not only have a ready market in our EPZ ecosystem, but you also have a very efficient farming community to support. Our projections for the growth of the textile and apparel sector based on the current potential and investment growth is that a compound annual growth of 20% is feasible, which would produce over $1 billion in exports and create 200,000 more jobs by 2027. Further increase exports to $2 billion with 650,000 jobs by 2031 and reach over $3 billion in exports and more than 850,000 jobs by 2034. I want the leaders who are here to keep track of the numbers. The numbers are very important. In other words, the conditions exist for Kenya's textile and apparel subsector to drive rapid growth in investment, manufacturing, employment, exports, and technology competitiveness. This is the context in which we appreciate the entry of Nexgen packaging EPZ into our textile and apparel subsector because of the future we think should be our target as we go into the next stage. Welcome to Kenya, a land of opportunity and nation going places. Welcome to the future, a future of transformation and inclusive growth, and I wish you all success in everything that you do. The Nexgen packaging EPZ factory in Athi River is now officially commissioned. Thank you very much.
The Kenyan apparel business and textile sector is large, fast-growing, and a very exciting sector. I think among the most exciting sectors in all of Kenya. And this gathering represents a robust opportunity for the industry, an industry with skilled and trained workers, high-quality manufacturing, and strong relationships with global buyers and global markets. We have U.S. buyers here today, including Walmart, PVH, The Children's Place, who are already sourcing from Kenya or are exploring new relationships with many of the companies here. We're also joined by global designers and manufacturers, including Singtex, PM&J, and Hopblum, who supply for major U.S. brands like Target and are exploring potential new partnerships here in Kenya. And today, we have over 23 firms representing all steps of Kenya's apparel supply chain. These companies power the sector in cut and sew, packaging, labeling, and other essential materials. The goal? Complete vertical integration across Kenya's apparel and textile industry. So please take time after this event to visit the 13 exhibits next door and see the best-in-class products that they make right here in Kenya. These companies are driving innovation, exports, and jobs in the sector.
This being the biggest industrial park in Kenya, we have over 97 enterprises within this enterprise, where we have employed about 27,000 people. The activities within the EPZ zones range from textile and apparel, pharmaceuticals, dartboard services, agro-processing, food processing, BPOs, and very soon we will be extending to leather production. EPZ has played a very critical role in the development of the economy of this country. This has been accelerated by the entry of AGOA. Currently, the AGOA is coming to an end, and there is a negotiation to extend the same. And my expectation as the chairman of EPZ, Your Excellency, is that when you travel to the United States next month, with the help of our
Nexgen Packaging Kenya EPZ Limited began its journey only in 2022, and we are very proud to see this progress, and they will be producing tags and labels for the high-profile companies like Mango, J. Crew, Columbia, American Eagle Outfitters, and all the other brands, and therefore we are excited to have them today. Finally, Your Excellency, in a morning like today, it is so motivating and energizing, and we just feel like doubling up our efforts and doing more to realize your dream of industrialization. And my ministry, we want to assure all the investors and all the industrialists that we are committed to creating a good climate and a business environment that will attract more investments.
Ambassador, we are going to announce the extension of the AGOA agreement. Out of this growth, we have had a huge demand for spaces within the EPZ. Your government has responded to this huge demand by gazetting 5 new EPZ zones. We have one in Sagana, we have one in Murang'a, Nakuru, Eldoret, and Busia. And we are expecting, Your Excellency, that with the entry of those 5 flagship projects, we are going to create more space for investments in our country. You've also invested a lot of money in the development of new sheds within the Athi River, and lately, Your Excellency, we've also received funds to put up the pioneer sheds within those 5 flagship projects. The Nexgen is one of our success stories, and we converge here today to celebrate them. Our country is ready for investment, and I think Nexgen is going to become a testament of what opportunities are available within EPZ.